What up everybody, it's Joe here and welcome to F1 2019 F2 Road to Career Mode. So after the mixed bag that was Baku, we decided we were going to try and get back on track here in Spain. We were going to try and do better and nab a pair of great results. So we start off as always in qualifying, trying to get the fastest time we possibly can. And our first lap is looking relatively clean, but I thought there was a lot more in the car at this point. I thought there was a hell of a lot more in the car. But the first lap was seemingly good enough for P3, so we tried to do a second lap on top of it, and as you can see we are improving. Not by an awful lot, but we are improving. And it's looking relatively good up until this point where we make this mistake, and at this point I think it's Giotto that decides to come up my inside, and we decide at that moment we are done for the day. So we are pulling off now and deciding to just leave it as it is. Unfortunately, we drop a long way down the field. I didn't anticipate this coming. And eventually, I think our starting position was something like 17th, as you can see on the screen there. So, a lot to do in the first race. But at least the first race is the longer one. But we hadn't made it easy for ourselves.
Welcome to the circuit to Barcelona, Catalunya. We're counting down to the start of today's race, and you can feel the excitement in the air. This promises to be a real spectacle. With that then, let's run through the grid order. Nick de Vries starts from pole position today, with Sergio Sette Camara alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Matsushita, Giotto, Antoine Hubert, and King, Latifi, Delatraz, Ilott, Guan Yu Zhou, Boccolacci, Correa, Jack Aitken, and Alesi, Calderon, Raghunathan, Schumacher, and Sean Galeo, Boschon, and Nikita Mazepin starts from the back of the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
So we're about to get race 1 underway, then we are on the grid, the 5 lights go out, and from P17 we are away, instantly not getting the best of starts. We move across to shut Galeo down because we're not having him coming past. Absolutely no way are we dropping any further positions. It's a relatively clean start. We try to make a few positions up the inside, but someone comes across on us and makes it clear that we're not going to get through that easily, so now we try to sweep through and try to gain something around the outside of the long sweeping right-hander there. But we switch to the inside on Calderon, and it looks like this overtake is going to be done relatively simply, and in fact it is. And the one thing I wanted to do was make up as many positions as I could where all the cars are jostling for position and everyone's slightly held up. We do a double overtake down the inside there, slightly barging our way through, but we get the move done nonetheless, and we are up into P14 and watching another 2 cars just scrap it out. I think it's Alesi and Correa, and Alesi coming off worse there. We try to take it up the inside, but Alesi's just not having it. He sticks it out around the outside of us. Fair driving from him there. We try to take it around the outside of the next corner, and we are just alongside, hanging it out around the outside. We would have got it done, but we slide into him as we try and get the move done. Then we try again to go up the inside, but the car just not giving us the grip we needed to get that move done, so we have to back out for now. But as the first corner comes up, we are right in the slipstream and primed to have a look up the inside. And you know what? We brake late, and that is the move done. That was a relatively straightforward overtake there on Giuliano Alesi. Next up the road is Correa, and we try now to get after him, push as hard as we can. And by the end of the lap, we have done it. We have got to within that DRS zone, which is activated on the next lap. We check to see where Alesi is, and he's nowhere. Like, we've just left him. Diving up the inside of Correa, that's a brave one. Especially if I outbrake myself there, but we've got the move done. That's up to 12th. And next is Callum Ilott. We are picking these off one by one. Ilott is my next victim. He goes to the inside, but we're going to try and get it done around the outside here. And we've just about got it done. I think Ilott made that one very easy for us once we got there. I believe that's the Kvyat move on Raikkonen. And it's around this time that we start hearing there's going to be a little bit of rain towards the end of the race. That's not the corner. However you try to address it, that is not the corner at all. Not quite sure what that was meant to be. And at this point, unfortunately, we lose Delatraz from the race. His car has just decided it's had enough and it's not going any further. That's unfortunate for him. Meanwhile, we are into the pits early, going to try and undercut some of these guys. We've really pitted in early there, so I was putting a lot of faith in that the tyres would last up until the end of the race. That's 15 laps I'm trying to take them. That's ambitious if I ever heard it. And now we've just set a fastest lap. Some of the other cars are pitting and we've moved into 30th place, pushing as hard as I can to try and undercut as many cars as possible. King is ahead of me. I'd rather place King behind me, so we pushed hard, but I was adjusting something there, or trying to check something on the team radio, and I should have really been paying more attention to the road because I made a mistake, and that's now allowed Broccolacci to get past, and I think Zio's going to have a look as well, but we try to cover that off, and he doesn't go for it in the end, so we're still pretty safe behind Broccolacci, but I was checking the team radio for something in the race, and that mistake has actually cost me a few seconds and a race position. But some of the other cars are now starting to pit. We're right behind Broccolacci. We're going to try and make a dive up the inside here. That's a bold one again. But we take the position and nearly don't make the corner. Big slide out of the corner there. But we've got moved on, and we are now P13 as some of the other cars are pitting. And I'm waiting to see quite how high up we have made it. And it looks like we are P9. But Broccolacci's just come straight back at me and got up the inside. But we've gone sideways trying to get him back. I think I hit him up the rear there. And that was 9th place back, I believe. Or 8th place back, sorry. We did make slight contact with him there. I do apologise, but I was losing the rear end there. Just so hard on the brakes. But now we've got to get after Jordan King once again. He was ahead of us before we made a mistake, and now he's got a little bit further up the road. It's got a little darker out there.
Okay, gap ahead is 1.2 seconds. They're on fresh hards. Their tyres are 5 laps old.
And we are checking the status of this battle because we're about to try and get after him. Try and get the place. You can tell it's got a lot darker now. Rain is pretty much imminent. So we need to get all this done as soon as possible. And the next couple of laps we get there. We're now right in the slipstream of King. We don't even need DRS. The slipstream was that strong. We've gone round the outside. King's still trying to hold it round the inside. But we keep our elbows out. We keep the throttle in it. And that is P7. Jordan King has no other choice there but to back out of that one. As we take 7th and move our way further forwards. We're also looking pretty good in race 2. But Jordan King's come straight back at me there. And we do a move there that's reminiscent of Leclerc and Vettel. But Jordan King coming back at me around the outside on the DRS point there. And that's, well, that was unexpected. But I'm also thinking, you know, race 2, if we stay where we are, we get pole or at least stay within the front few. So I was looking for silver linings from this race. It wasn't great, but we're now closing back up to Jordan King. Because ideally we want to get as many points as possible from this one. We dive up the inside. That's a little bit of a cheeky one. There was contact. We knock him out the way, but we are now up to 7th. Next up is Antoine Hubert, who is in 6th. And the rain is just about starting to fall now. So we're doing everything we can while trying not to throw it off the road. There's a few cars ahead, so I'm thinking, you know what? I wonder how many of these we might be able to pick off. All thoughts of reverse grid pole are gone, so we're just trying to move up as far as we can. We're now in Hubert's slipstream on the penultimate lap. The rain is getting more and more intense. We've got up the inside there, but obviously I've completely overestimated where the braking spot is, and I decided to do the rightful thing and let him back through. Completely overshot the brakes, and I'm going to just slot him behind and try and find another opportunity to get past. But we are fast running out of time and we're on the last lap now. So it is going to have to be something spectacular. We don't... Well, again, I was going to say we dive up the inside. But that again was a case of me trying to brake when I normally would in the dry. And completely overshooting the mark. But now we are right behind Hubert. Ready to make a lunge. And I know that I'm going to try for it in the chicane. De Vries has just taken the win, but we're going to dive up the inside in the chicane. I don't know quite how we had the grip for that, but we move it up to 6, again nearly losing the car on the exit. And at this point, the grip is just next to none, but we still managed to take P6 from this race. So P17 to P6, not a bad effort.
It was a magnificent race and a drive right out of the top draw to take the win for ART today. And Davide Valsecchi, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
I think they kept a cool head. That's why they won today. Smooth, steady, everything bad that happened to them, they handled it calmly and professionally. That's what let them focus on getting the best out everything else. The car, the strategy, they managed to keep out of trouble the whole way around.
An amazing race today and a very well-deserved one too. The team worked very hard to get exactly the right setup out of the F2 car that works for them, and the results speak for themselves. ARTGP winners today. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. The lead at the top has come down after a poor result for our points leader. And now, Davide Valsecchi, let me ask you, who is your driver of the day?
My driver of the day is Mick Schumacher. With this team, Prema Power Team, they made the difference on the race strategy. Fantastic.
On to the teams then.
Right then, we are away for the second race and we don't get a very good start at all. I come across to try and cover Latifi, but Latifi's having none of that. Latifi's having absolutely none of it and takes P3 away. We're now going to try and go around the outside, try and do what we did with Jordan King, keep our foot in, and again, we have got that P3 back and we are heading into the first few corners. Hubert and Jordan King are the ones in the positions ahead of us. I think it's Jordan King leading him, and we're now coming into turn 4, seeing what we can do at this point, but we're a little too far behind. And over the next few laps, as you can see, they've built a little bit of a gap over us now, but they are starting to scrap for the lead. Antoine is getting well into King's DRS point. You can see how close he is, and you know what, this looks like is going to be a done and dusted, pretty simple manoeuvre for Antoine Hubert down the inside. And, well, that was, like I said, relatively straightforward, pretty easy. He is now leading the race. We are in P3, trying to see if we can get past Jordan King. We've actually been behind him for a couple of laps at this point. We lost a little bit of ground on one of the opening laps. I'm not quite sure what happened. But now we're up to third. We've pulled out from Latifi behind us, who's just seemingly not got any race pace on him there. So now we're lining up Jordan King and we are going after that second place. We're just going to see whether we can take it. We're not really that close. It's going to take a bit of a lunge down the inside there, but again we just go straight across because, well, I was braking stupidly late there. I'll be honest, that was ridiculously late to be braking, but the next time round, once again, a little bit closer, got the DRS assistance, and Jordan King once again in my sights. I am not letting him go easy. He is going to go to the right. We are going to try and go to the left then, and we go round the outside. Out braking myself again, but I'm trying to hold it in. I've clipped the curb too hard and we have spun. Round we go there then, and well, that was just me coming off the corner wrong, trying to go in too hard. And the rear of the car, as you can see, just wasn't having it. There's no grip off some of these curbs on this game. And we lost the rear end, but we're able to continue in P3, having built that gap to Latifi. We lose what I believe is Callum Ilott from this race at this point. Ilott's engine having a catastrophic failure. I'm not sure whereabouts in the race he was. I don't think he was particularly running high up. But at this point now, we are pushing hard to try and get back after Jordan King. Not quite on his pace, but as you can see here, a little bit too hard maybe round that corner. And again here, just a bit too hard. We've got onto the gravel, round we go and into the wall. And that's pretty much at that point my race over. I recover back onto the track very dangerously there. My front wing is gone. The virtual safety car is out, and with 3 laps to go, there was just no sense in trying to nurse the car to the end with a broken front wing. I just wouldn't have had any grip. I would have gone off everywhere. Cars would have just swamped me. So we just pit in and just call it, really. And it just sums up a race of many, many mistakes. And, well, there's not a lot more I can say about it, really. There were just some stupid errors going on through me pushing too hard. And, well, the first spin, again, was me hitting the curb too hard, trying to get past Jordan King. And then the second mistake where we hit the wall, I was pushing way too hard. Antoine Hubert takes the win then of this race, something that does bring a little smile to my face. But our race is just one to forget, really. It's one to just put in the bin, forget about, and move to the next one. We are currently last of all cars. I'm not even pushing it anymore. I'm just bringing it home. I mean, we did get some points from this race, but it's just simply not good enough. It's not good enough.
It was touch and go for a while there, but Arden have done it. Great win. Davide, what do you think made the difference here?
I think this race was won thanks to the tire management. You have to remember, it's not just about going as fast as you can. It's about consistency. It's about maintaining your speed over an entire race distance. So being able to keep the lap time competitive while still respecting the tires, that's where they won today.
As they make their way down to the podium, there's no denying the strength of the Arden team. Arden aren't afraid to take risks on new talent, and it certainly looks like it paid off today. Fantastic work. And now, let's take a look at the driver's standings. It was not the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day?
Difficult call, but I'd like to say Luis de Letras. It was just perfect.
So there you have it then. We are P19, and sorry, I correct myself, we didn't take points from this race. I meant to say we take points from this meeting, because we got 6 from race 1. We're still leading the championship, but De Vries has really cut the gap down. And like I said, you know, the performance here that we have shown is just not good enough. We need to do better in Monaco. Otherwise, we're just going to lose this championship. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Leave a like and punch the sub button, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, it is goodbye from me.